market has just opened, and so I'm about to jump on. Basically, just so you know a little bit about my sort of journey with trading, is that I've been trading for a year now, just over a year. I've had a funded account from January until about 2 weeks ago. So roughly just a little over 6 months. And I have been in 7% drawdown, 8% drawdown, 8% profits multiple times, and I have just blown the account, which I'm kind of grateful for because it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start, and that's what you need. And also, it tells you that. How do I explain it? You know, you look at the traders, people who are successful in trading, they've always failed to fund accounts. And if you ain't failed to fund an account yet, I guess it's incoming, or at least had some sort of failure within trading that has context to it. You know. Okay, so sorry, I was just pausing there just to make sure the audio is working before I record this whole session, and there's no audio. So basically, what I've done now since I filled my funded account, instead of jumping straight back into it, I'm in a moment at the moment. I'm in a position at the moment where I don't know whether to go to futures or to stay in Forex. At the moment, we've got government shutdown, so it's not the best time to really test futures. So I'm just going to stick with Forex at the moment until things start to level out and things start to come back with a bit more consistency. So maybe next month, hopefully next month, I want to have a look into futures. What I've done is I've gone on FTMO, which I had my fund account from, and I've done the 2-week free trial, and I've set myself this task to be able to pass 3 2-week free trials in a row. And once I can do that, I'm confident in the fact that I can take on another funded account within Forex. Now, my strategy for Forex is it's a bit of a weird one, but I only trade Euro USD and GBP USD, so I understand how they move. Those pairs, I know how they move, and they can work together. So you can use SMTs with them. They're not as strong as what you'd have with Nasdaq and S&P, but you can use SMTs in certain areas, which I like, and I think they're a really strong confluence to be able to solidify your trades and what you want to bet on, basically. But market has New York open. It's just started. 3:30 my time. I live in Europe, and so we're gonna be checking the two. Basically, what I've done here on high time frame is on the daily I've marked out a low, which is more of a 4-hour low that I find as a swing low that I find quite attractive to the market. Marked out equilibrium on very high time frame from future movement. The 4-hour I've marked out a fair value gap followed by an entrance to that fair value gap, creating another fair value gap, which in my opinion is a protected high. So I know that it's highly unlikely that we're going to move past this high over this week, or at least over the next couple of days. So I don't have to worry about us going higher than there. And then on the 1-hour, I've marked out the previous 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. hourly high and low, and I'm waiting for that to get swept on both GBP USD and Euro USD, the 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. high and low. Once that gets swept, we will drop down to the 5-minute and wait for some confirmation confluences, some continuation confluences, and once we see that, we can look for our entry on the 1-minute. We have a protected high on here as well. As you can see, we came into this fair value gap on the 4-hour, created another fair value gap. Therefore, this should be, in theory, a protected high, and we shouldn't go higher than where this is. And so if we wanted to take a swing trade, for example, we could take a swing trade with our stop loss on there, which we're not going to do because we're day trading at the moment. And this account is for day trading. So yeah, this is just going to be a little bit of a waiting game. Usually, I notice with Forex and especially with GBP USD and Euro USD that we don't really get movement in the market or to create the move for the day before 4:20 p.m., which is 10:20 a.m. New York time. Um, so market opens at 3:30. You watch out, see what happens, but usually it creates a move before 4:30, and then there's a reversal after that move, and then it creates an entrance just before 5 o'clock, 5:15, and that's where I'm looking to take the trade. So I'm not going to record this whole session of me just sat here just waiting, because that'll be the most boring thing for your users. But especially for our first video with no traction of following. But yeah, I'm also going to start doing this because I think this will be good for my trading too. I hope this can help people, especially like the information, the quality of the content will improve over time. But this is going to be quite good for me as well to keep my trading in check. And who knows what will come from it? Who knows? A mass following, a mass teaching, um, being able to help people out with trading as well. Once I've sort of helped myself, and I feel like talking about it every single time I get on the charts will help with that. Ironically, today is a Monday. I never trade Mondays, but since this is a trial account, and now I've got the opportunity to sort of mess around and see what the probabilities are with things, I can sort of go, let's take a trade on Monday. Let's sort of work out the parameters. Let's see what minutes, what 10-minute, what 15-minute, not time frame, but where in market open to market close, which for me is, 5-ish. It's an hour and a half worth of playtime, basically. I want to know if Monday can be used as a trading day, because obviously the more trading days you have, the more probability you have of being profitable. So yeah, I'm going to pause now and come back once we have either of our highs and lows swept on GU and EU. All right, sweet. Okay, okay. We have swept our high on Euro USD, which is not really wanted to go for really, but I kind of wanted us to sweep lows, fill the fair value gap, because Euro USD has a tendency to completely close off fair value gaps and then respect them. So not great. That does sort of tell us that we're supposed to be going lower. And there's not lots of liquidity to the downside. Well, there is, but not low resistance. There's one, maybe two. What we're going to do here is now, through this, we're going to look for some sort of continuation confluence or confirmation confluence. So break structure, yeah, really just sort of a break of structure to the downside. But we're already in sort of a down movement. We're in quite a bearish trend. So it's not like a break of structure in this case. It is on this low time frame because we've got a low time frame trend to the upside. But no, we're going to be waiting this out. Yeah, the thing is with trading is it really is a game of patience, a game of sitting on your hands and not trading. GBP, USD, anything. No. I would love to go longs right now on GBP, USD. High. And yeah, and then come short after that, but I wouldn't take two trades. We've got this 1 hour fair value gap, which is also a 4 hour fair value gap. We've closed into it. Even if we come down and take this low first and then create a move to the upside, it is still a key level. These are key levels, which I'm happy to look for. What the key levels have we got on here? Key level. Oh, we only key levels to the upside except for this protected high. let's have a look at the session highs and stuff. This is why I wanted to take the low, because we take that low, that's taking London lows. You know, we're taking New York lows again. Not really. We're taking previous day London lows. That would be perfect for a long setup because we're sweeping out the liquidity. You know, we're sweeping out those orders that haven't been filled. Whereas GBP USD, yeah, sweep that high and come lower. Sweep that high and come lower. Sweep that high and come lower. It's going to be slow moving today. Mondays are always very slow. That's usually why I don't trade them as well, because there's not enough volatility in the market. You know, I may sit here and I may not take a trade, and that's probably the best thing that can happen when you're not sure. If you're not sure, the best thing that can happen is don't take the trade. You know, because is the risk worth the reward? That's what you've got to question. You know, you can't think of your risk to reward as just, oh, I'm risking 1% to try and make 1% or make 2% or maybe even more in your case. In my case, no. Because if I do, then I'm just getting emotional, thinking, oh, this is going to be an amazing trade. I'm going to make 4 or 5%. It happens. It does happen, but not on a regular basis. It's not consistent enough, especially in my stage of trading. But you can't look at your risk to reward as just a 1 to 2. You got to look at your risk to reward as, I'm going to risk this 1% for something I'm not really that sure about, when I know I could be more sure if I just waited for another day, whether that day's tomorrow or the day after or next week or next month. You know, we shouldn't risk just for the sake of risking, just for the sake of keeping a pattern, a weekly pattern. You don't trade for the sake of trading. You know, that's something that's really important. You know, like realistically, yeah. If you just press buy every single day at the same time every day, there is a probability that if you could manage the risk reward with that, that you could be profitable. But you know, people then think trading is that showing up every day and pressing buy or sell and setting a stop loss on the take profit. It's not. It's not. It's about being disciplined with the plan you have, because realistically, any plan's gonna bloody work. Any plan's gonna work as long as you stick to it. And one of the hardest rules in any plan that every plan has is, if the trade isn't sure, don't take the trade. People will go, okay, I need a breakage structure, fair value gap, a 1 minute break structure, a 1 minute fair value gap, I need a continuation confluence, blah, blah, blah. And they'll get all of this, but there'll be something. The breakage structure just doesn't clear that low that you wanted it to clear. It cleared the 3 previous lows, but not that swing low. So you're hesitant to take the trade, and now your mind is in a trance because you're worrying about that. And instead of going, okay, no, that setup isn't strong enough. I've had stronger setups and they work out. I wait for the stronger setup. Instead of doing that, what you do is you take the trade off that. You get into 0.5% profits, 1% profits on the trade. You don't take partials, which you realistically can't until you're up 2%, or you have massive capital to play with, so that even your partials at 0.5% are 5 grand. And you end up coming either back to your break even because you moved it to break even after hitting 1%, or instead of taking partials, or you get swept out at your stop loss as the high that was needed as liquidity, and then the actual entry plays out, the stronger entry. That happens so much with traders, all because they need to identify whether the setup is strong enough, whether the breaker structure is strong enough, whether, you know, the fair value gap, the way it was respected, was that respected enough? You know, is the market moving with these confluences, or is it just moving randomly and we're identifying it as a confluence when in the market it isn't? You know, we have to look at those sort of things in trading to make sure we don't mess it up. And as long as you can identify that probability, the probability of trading, the probability of you taking the trades will play out by themselves, and over time you will be profitable. So yeah, I do. No, I do like this setup because, but I just do feel as if we would come up and sweep London highs first, but there's no liquidity there to actually sweep except for a fair value gap. However, Euro USD usually enters fair value gaps and uses that and acts that as liquidity, like as an external liquidity, and then GBP USD hits external liquidities like this high. For example, you see this high here. This is quite a draw on liquidity for the market, and it's also London session highs. So GBP USD may go and sweep that, and Euro USD, what that might do is it might come up and enter the fair value gap just before London started. Well, yeah, enter that fair value gap, fill that fair value gap, and then once they've both done that, they'll both make the move. And that's what I've noticed a lot with EU and GU. But I would like to go shorts today. It's 4 o'clock now. New hourly candle opens. We've had nothing in the last hour on GU. EU is responding a little bit, but I will get back to the video when we have some sort of confluence. I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, we got our breaker structure. Now we're going to be waiting for our retrace. I like to see a 5-minute retrace before I enter, and then once I get the 5-minute retrace, 1 minute fair value gap, respect the fair value gap, create another fair value gap out of it, then we've got a low time frame protected high to take our entry off. And so I'm going to use my equilibrium, literally 50% equilibrium, to judge where we need our reversal to be. This reversal on the 1 minute will look like a breaker structure. It's not. This is kind of like TJR strat. It's very similar, very similar. I've definitely taken large parts of it from there, but I've applied my own knowledge and experience from these Forex pairs to it. As you can see, we get S&Ts on Forex if you count these as pairs. You know, lower low, sorry, lower high, higher high. You see that's a shift. So you could scale down from that. However, for me, it wasn't large enough of confirmation. So we're waiting for this reversal. It's looking quite good. Just need to come a bit higher. And we dropped onto the 1 minute. Something I do need to do though, because I had an 80,000 euro funded account. I need to put this to 100,000. Yeah, I was risking 3% on my shit, 0.3% on my shit, because that's how bad in drawdown I was. Yeah, okay. Come on, we need to come a little bit higher, dude. A little bit higher for me. Let's mark out some lows. TPs. Yeah, this looks good. See how this is starting to look like, well, it's not, doesn't look like a break structure actually, but you see how this looks like it can create a fair value gap, respect fair value gap, but we haven't broken structure. So it's either that or a break structure. When we get the reversal on the 1 minute, that's what it looks like. So it looks like we're about to change the trend, kind of. But we are not. I'm sure of it. Need a little bit more. GBP goes reversal. There's no reason why you couldn't take it off this. It's gonna be waiting. Oh look, I'll come back once we either get what we want or we don't get what we want. Alright, well we've got a possible entry coming up now. We just need another fair value gap and I'm in. 1 minute fair value gap. The equilibrium, we just went off the 1 minute high instead of the 5 minute high because that's just my experience with the market. Sometimes they don't always get the perfect setup, but the setup is still good enough. GBP USD has also done the same. We've touched into 1 minute fair value gap, respecting that. Euro USD is as well. So I'm just gonna have to wait until we get another one, and then I'm in realistically. Let me get this set up. Get it up from my phone. I use MetaTrader 5. People hate on it. Fuck it. Okay, that's a big rejection. That's a huge rejection on Euro USD. That's telling me new. GBP USD has got it. No, it hasn't. Oh, is it going to get it? Is it going to get it? If it doesn't get it, then we're going to come back up. And we're going to go for that 5 minute. Yep, we're going up for the 5 minute equilibrium. See, that's where that second fair value gap, that confirmation of the second fair value gap really helps you. Otherwise, you just literally can't use it. So now we put our high back up there. We can take our high to there, which we have realistically touched into on there. It may continue to move lower, or it may not just give us a setup we want. It may just not give us a setup. As of today, we've got 30 minutes, and this can all still play out. I'll be back. Alright, I think we're going to take this, but we're going to put half 0.5% risk on. So if that's 20, we're going to put 10 on. Sell position. And we're in on that. Stop loss is 15669. Yeah. Alright, so we've got our position on. The reason why I've taken that is GBP USD didn't give us what we want, but sometimes it can be slightly delayed, as you can see. Now it's making that second fair value gap. It doesn't have to make it right away. It doesn't have to make it right away. And we've made the second fair value gap here. For me, that's enough to protect this high. If we come past that high, we come past that high. We've got 0.5% risk on. The reason why I put 0.5 is it's just that instinct of it not being a smooth enough move. And our take profit we're going to put down here, which comes out at 15538. 15538. Right, well, we're in on that trade. Now, when the way I manage trades is weird. It's probably an issue of mine, if anything, actually. I manage trades quite differently to most traders. If I've got something to go do, somewhere to be, I just leave it. I set my stop loss, I set my take profit, I leave it. Because the trade can take hours and hours to play out. Or it may only take 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 3 hours, you know? And you cannot always sit there when you have a job, the gym, a car share, you know? There's loads of things for it. You can't always just sit there and wait because there's other things you have to do in your day. And so if I do have a position on that I know there's a key point in the market that if we move past that key point, then my trade isn't going to play out and I can cut my losses basically, I will set notifications like this, add alert, etc. And they will come up on my phone. And if we move past that point, I close my position with a 0.25% loss or 0.5% loss. And sometimes I set alerts for when I'm at 1%. And when I'm at 1%, I either move my stop to break even, or if it's a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 4 trade, if I'm up 2%, I will put my I will take half of my profits. So I'll take 1% profits, which covers my position, meaning I can keep that grey area of stop loss while still losing nothing. So sometimes, obviously, as you know, we come into profits, reverse, sweep liquidity, and then come back down. If I had a break-even position, stop at break-even, I miss that opportunity. But it all depends on how the market's moving and how the trade was lined up. Then I'll either sit and manage the trade, or I won't manage the trade, or I'll leave it, or I'll set and forget, as that fella says. But his is slightly different. He just sets and literally just forgets. That shit's crazy. But he knows what he's doing. He's good at it, so can't knock him. We may consolidate quite a bit here. We may sweep London lows and reverse, and I get kicked out of the position, and we come up here because we still have 27 minutes of play around. This happened in 5 minutes. That big move to the downside. In 5 minutes, we could be back up here, and I'm out my position. And so that's why we've risked 0.5% on this trade, as we have just sweeps London lows. And we've just sweeped yesterday's New York lows and nearly London's lows. So if we continue down to this, it's going to be a strong trade, and I may even elongate my TP to, I believe that would be daily, previous day low, oh, previous week low. That would be previous week low, which I see us definitely moving to. At least some point this week, definitely moving down to here. We either come into this weekly fair value gap, or we come down and can just sweep that straight away, because that is going to be a low that we're going to want to touch into on the daily, on the 4-hour. Yeah, it's going to be a low. It's going to be a session. It's a key level. It's a very key level. So as you can see, we are reacting quite a lot off that low. We have to see. We have to wait and see. That's why I risk 0.5%. It's not the strongest setup, but take a trade. Take a trade. This is what I'm saying about how, if you're not sure about the setup, just don't take the trade. But I can't lie, I didn't want to post my first video without a trade. That would be very boring. You watch this for 30 odd minutes and nothing even happens. But regardless, I'm trying to teach myself and teach you guys at the same time. Buy my course. Buy my course. Buy my course, guys. It only costs £15,000 or €15,000 or $15,000. Buy my course. Not buying no course. But this one's just gonna be a wait and see. Same shit. It's time for TikTok Reels. TikTok Reels. Oh, what did I even just say? Do we do TikTok or do we do Insta Reels? That's the question. I feel like TikTok's more motivational. Huh. My boy just got his license. He's been driving for years. That's jokes. Give me that breaker structure. Give me that breaker structure. Oh, not breaker structure, just a continuation candle. I want to see that candle. Fucking, I want to see a big ass candle right now. I want to see a drizzy candle. Fuck. That's not a drizzy candle, bro. That's not a drizzy candle. That's a normal candle with a lot of foreskin. Fuck. Fuck, boys. It's not looking good. That's uncircumcised. Alright, I am just gonna pause this video here and I'll come back to this video when either I've lost money, made money, or nada. Yeah, hopefully this shit plays out safe. Okay, this is about 15 minutes later. Just before. Let's see how much we're up. If we're up 1%, no, we ain't even up that much, you know. We're not. We're not up that much. We're up like, well, TP is 1 point something percent. We're up €300 at the moment. €400. I'm gonna hold this shit. I'm gonna hold this shit. I'm gonna let it play. I don't know what all this was about. Not a clue. That's what I mean. You just start getting volatility nearer to 5 o'clock. You just start getting some crazy volatility. We are actually in a position, as you can see, right here. First trade on the account. We are 310 at the moment. This is a demo. This is gonna be a 2-week challenge, and we're gonna aim to pass 3 of them. We're gonna aim to pass 3 of them, and from there we will then get our next funded account, which will probably be. Actually, let's see what FTM will offer. FTM, if it makes you sign in again, I swear I have to sign into this thing every single day. Like, why doesn't it just keep me in? Is in. Oh wow. It's 20% off. See, to me that makes no sense. Yeah, I might. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Euro in dollars. Yeah, like the fuck? So you're better off getting the $200,000 account. I'm paying the same for it. That's crazy. I just clocked all that. That's kind of crazy. What's GBP USD doing? Not good. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think I'm gonna close my position on here because I don't trust it. I don't trust the position. We're up. We've raised 0.5% of the trade. We're up 0.25%. I might be able to close it with a little bit of profit. Yeah, position closed. 130, 110 euros. I'm not really bothered. I just know that this is not going to go the way I want it to go. I will hold this here and I'll come back in 20 minutes and I promise you I will not have come lower and I will not have gone higher. Sorry, I will have gone higher. And we will disrespect this, I bet you. I just know it. But anyways, yeah, I'll show you guys in a minute. I'll show you guys in a minute. Okay, as you can see, I was right. I just had it's that experience. The experience of the markets gives you this instinct. You know when to cut your wins, cut your losses. Yeah, we made 110 euros, which is nothing. It's nothing when our 1% is 1,000 euros. We've got a 100,000 euro account, you know. But we didn't lose anything today. We didn't lose anything today, and that is something to be happy about, especially when it wasn't a great setup. We only risked 0.5%, and it was a Monday, and the government's closed. To me, that's a dub. That's a dub. So look, thank you for watching this first video. I feel like there's a lot of actually information in this video that shows a lot about trading in itself and how there's so many parameters and so many factors just in this one video. I know it's going to be a long video, but I think all of these sessions are going to be long videos. I think if you're really trying to trade and you're trying to understand, you gotta spend time on it. And I feel like these videos can't be rushed. They will be trimmed down in the future and whatsoever. But first video, it's gonna be raw, unedited. It's just got a few intervals because there is no point sitting there watching me just scroll through Instagram reels. But look, thank you for watching if you've come this far in the video, and tomorrow I will see you. Ciao.